Hello and welcome back to the MC Championship video. The date for the next canon MCC event, which will be MCC 23, was announced earlier this week, so let's talk about it as well as everything we know so far about the upcoming event. But before we spoil the facts, remember that only a small percentage of the people who watch our videos are actually subscribed. Do me a favor and check if you're subscribed, especially if you're new around here, so you don't miss the latest MCC news from me. So on Monday 27th of June 2022, the official MC Championship Twitter account posted saying the Decision Dome opens again on Saturday 23rd July for MCC 23. Teams will be announced next week. As usual, there are two parts to this tweet: the date and the rough time frame for team announcements. Firstly, the date. Although the tweet doesn't make clear the exact time and the time zone to go by, it remains the same, as a similar announcement in the official MCC Discord shows on screen right now. Here's what it says: MCC 23 has been announced. Watch the teams battle for glory and chaos unfold as we go live 23rd July 2022 at 8 PM BST/3 PM ET. So the Discord announcement clarifies the confusion over exact start times by reminding us that the start time will be 8 PM and the time zone is British Summer Time BST, which is the current standard time zone used by the UK, which is where Noxcrew, the team behind MCC, are based. The UK uses BST each year from the end of March to the end of October, and the other time zone it uses for the rest of the year is Greenwich Mean Time GMT. So for MCC 23 it's BST, important to make that distinction. Therefore, make sure to use a reliable time zone converter to find out when MCC 23 begins in your local area. For people living in the east of North America, it's definitely 3 PM Eastern Time ET, as the Discord announcement also mentions. It's interesting that there was no preceding tweet before the actual date announcement tweet that teased the potential for the next event reveal beforehand, as is common with past canon events. But I guess it made for a nice surprise, especially at the start of the week. In fact, the last event, Pride 22, was also announced on a Monday. Also, focusing just on the event date itself, it looks like there will be a 5-week gap between MCC Pride 22 on June 18th and the upcoming MCC 23 on July 23rd, whereas typically in the past it's been the regular 4-week gap. But extending this next event by 1 week than normal makes up for the short 3-week gap between MCC 22 on May 28th and MCC Pride 22 on June 18th. And of course, you should have spotted by now the fact that the event number matches the day of the month, MCC 23 on the 23rd. That is so cool and a rare opportunity that has never happened before. By the way, there's a new notice on the Discord announcement which utilizes the recently introduced Discord events feature, which allows you to display interest in something and then that server will notify you when it starts. This was already tried last month for Pride 22 and it worked well, so this seems set to become a permanent feature and it's very useful. So if you think you're going to somehow forget about July 23rd, make sure you're in the MCC Discord server to join the event. More info on how to join the server at the end of this video. Final thing to note about the date announcement is that the event date wasn't the only thing to have been hinted at. The Twitter post in particular also mentioned that teams will be announced next week, followed by a running emoji, which is different from the other emojis used in previous date announcement tweets in 2022. So teams will roll out at some point during the week beginning Monday 4th July 2022, which is quite a long distance from the date announcement. It's well established by now that whenever teams are announced, the first 5 will drop on one day and the remaining 5 will drop the next day at around the same time, and there's typically a 15-minute gap between each team's announcement. Now, for MCC Pride 22 last month, the teams were announced on a consecutive Monday and Tuesday, just 1.5 weeks before the actual event, which wasn't particularly strange or late because it was a non-canon event. We are left with 3 likely day pairs for team announcements, so either the Monday and Tuesday pair, which is uncommon but not rare, and if this is the correct pair, then teams should drop on Monday 4th and Tuesday 5th of July. It could also be the very common Thursday and Friday pair, which is used most of the time, and if this is the correct pair, then teams should drop on Thursday 7th and Friday 8th of July. Finally, there's a chance there's a less likely but still possible weekend pair of Saturday and Sunday, and if this is the correct pair, then teams should drop on Saturday 9th and Sunday 10th of July. Remember that these are educated guesses and they could throw us off by introducing a different day pair instead, like Tuesday and Wednesday, which for team announcements has never happened before in Season 2. This is just speculation, so there's a small chance that I may be wrong, but if you want my genuine opinion, I'm leaning towards Thursday 7th and Friday 8th July, since the other 2 pairs are either too far or too close to the actual event. Indeed, Monday 4th and Tuesday 5th are incredibly far from the 23rd, too far for team announcements, but Saturday 9th and Sunday 10th seems more reasonable, although it is much further away from the date announcement on Monday 27th of June. That practically covers the date and some info about the teams. Now let's discuss everything we know so far about MCC 23. Well, for starters, it's of course going to be a regular canon event. I'm sure that's well established by now, but what I want to focus on now is a couple of other smaller details that could shape this event to be really unique. It's worth looking back at past events that took place around this time in previous years. There have been 2 in July so far, MCC 7 on July 18th 2020 and MCC 15 on July 24th 2021. Coincidentally, both these events introduced revamped versions of existing games, which were Ace Race and Sands of Time respectively. Of course, Ace Race was born out of its predecessor Foot Race from Season 1, and the new Sands of Time for Season 2 was based off of its older counterpart. However, don't expect a new game to be added this time, with Meltdown joining the Decision Dome in just the last canon event, MCC 22. It's extremely unlikely that the Noxcrew will once again choose to add in another one. This therefore leaves us with 12 potential games from Season 2 that could be played in MCC 23, bearing in mind that on the final Wednesday before each event, the games graphic is revealed on the MCC Twitter. So we will know in advance which game will be in the upcoming roster. The games graphic usually holds 9 games for most canon events, and as a result, 3 games are benched entirely, but since only 8 games are actually played, an additional 1 game will be skipped during the event despite being in the Decision Dome. Here's a reminder of every Season 2 game so far: Ace Race, Battle Box, Build Mod, Grid Runners, Hole in the Wall, Meltdown, Lockdown, Parkour Tag, Rocket Speed Rush, Sands of Time, Sky Battle, Survival Games, and Get the Other Side of Macafan, or TGTTOSAWAF. So let me know down below in the comments which 3 games you think will get benched for this event, and if you're feeling brave, then on top of that tell me the 9th game that players will be able to vote on, but which you think will sadly get skipped for the whole event. Of course, it's possible that there are more than 9 games on the roster, but there shouldn't be less, as in canon events there must always be the chance of at least 1 game getting skipped, so as to add to the element of luck and surprise, especially for the final choice for game 8. Furthermore, another game remix is imminent, especially as there's only been 1 canon game remix with MCC 21 Battlebox, alongside 4 game remixes in the Pride 22 non-canon event. Like in MCC 22, there may well be no remix, but I'd be surprised if they remain an infrequent addition to MCC. Indeed, they spice up the game in many ways, meaning there is a huge potential for remixes in the future beyond MCC 23. Finally, it is typical for at least 1 participant in MCC to publicly announce that they forgot to sign up for the event, and this time the player I found is Spiffy, who replied to the MCC 23 date announcement tweet by saying, "I'm an idiot, I forgot to sign up." Oh, and another player, Foodberry, said in his latest Twitch stream that he didn't sign up for this MCC because apparently he wasn't feeling it, but he hinted at applying for the month after. As always, take this info lightly, there have been occasions where participants falsely state they're absent for an event, but that's only really Anfrost, to be honest. Guys, before we end, remember that if you love talking about MCC just as much as I do, then remember that you can join lots of free official social media platforms to do just that, to talk about our beloved Minecraft tournament and all it has to offer. Check the links in the description of this video to join the official Discord server and subreddit page to discuss with other members of this amazing community and post memes or statistics. There's lots you can do. Who knows, maybe you'll catch me chatting there, so if you're interested, make sure to check them out. Now, there's probably a couple other small hints we've been given about what to expect from MCC 23, but I've talked through the most important ones here. Good job to Noxcrew for developing another great event, and to Scott's Major for organizing the teams, which should be dropping later next week as mentioned earlier. Well, I've been your host, I hope you found this video informative and enjoyable, and I'll catch you all in the next MCC video. See ya!